Good morning. Little nasty's going on this morning. Yesterday was a coma trading day. Indecision. Let's get some charts up here. Two. Some surprises, of course. We'll take a look at the Russell and where it is today. So let's start with the spiders. The gap downs everywhere. We're stuck within Friday's big range. Historically, things have to calm down, and it's going to take a little while to calm down. And more news this morning with China and concerns how that's going to escalate, but we'll see what the charts do. All right. So stabilizing out after this gap down. So intraday, I guess we can call that a bearish island reversal, gap up and now a gap down and another gap below. Essentially, it's a big mess. And like I said, we're just going to have to let it calm down. You can see where my cursor is. It's down at the bottom of Friday's range. It was below here. I think after the close on Friday was down below here, that moving average and support. Um, can't see it on here. We look when we look at the futures. Um, oh yeah, so there it is down there. I think that's would need to be tested at this point. It's going to take a little time, whether it's on the daily chart or on the intraday chart. It's just going to take a little time of stabilization, and I think we'll continue to have these erratic price behavior. 5-minute chart, some stabilization, whipping around there, bad tick. Um, so, intraday in the room here, we'll be looking for opportunities for short-term day trades on leveraged ETFs and futures, and see which way this goes. I can go up into the gap or down here into the gap. I think likely that we won't get too much further away from Friday's low, give or take. It's going to be more of the same wherever we look. I'm looking at the Qs. I mean, what a crazy gap up. I guess, again, news driven. Now gap down below. Um, be the same no matter where we look. Now, the Russell, that was, the gap up and the got to always put things in the context of the bigger picture. Um, okay, Jay Richard, I'll take a look at that link, see what's up with that. Um, putting it in the context of the bigger picture. All right, so that was a significant gap up, and the rally stopped at minor resistance. Or theoretically, I mean, we were looking at it as, hey, this could go long in the afternoon when we were in the room because it was consolidating and it could move up to the next resistance area. And the AD line over here, you can see this was pegged up there at an extremely bullish level all day, which supported the idea that it maybe could go a bit higher, but nothing was moving. Um, you know, just I guess more of a wait and see the next shoe to drop, which we have it this morning. And now the Russell gapping down, actually a little bit below yesterday's low. For those that are new, this gray area on my chart is there to mark the overnight trading. And the white area is what happened during the trading day. So this is now below the white area, but testing the overnight lows. Um, but on the daily chart, gapping below that green bar is not bullish, of course. Uh, Zero. Dan typing in there. Okay, so yeah, SPX. Nothing was touched yesterday, and the gap down creates a tremendous move. It always overshoots, and so this is the extreme for the day, and because it's gapping down here, um, This being an uptrend, could it get back up to the highs? Look, we always have thoughts based on the charts. I would say I think it's unlikely. I think it's going to go down here. I think that's highly unlikely. And just technically, if we're ever, I mean, that would be a huge, tremendous move to the downside. So, with these options and these moves, it's always overblown. And you're just looking at other levels, you know, coming down to that 6,500 area. If that's in the cards for today, below the 50 and on top of this support and on top of a whole number, there will be a large open interest there. I would suggest setting an alert at that level, because if it's down there, I'd be looking for a bounce and stabilization. Um, Oil affecting the Russell? It does, of course. When you look inside the Russell, it's oil stocks. I mean, primarily oil stocks and regional banks and biotech stocks. So yeah, they definitely oil will do that. And then we'll get to oil. That is lower. We looked at IWM. I'm just curious where this VIX is. Up near the prior high. So it backed off from it once, and now it's gapping up there, just like if we look at the broader markets coming down to the low with this kind of jiggle, it could stabilize there, which it is. But theoretically, and it could go significantly higher. And in the weekend video in the letter, I said, I don't even want to think about what the implications are if the volatility index was headed up there. The markets would be getting crushed. All right. So, yeah, oil. There's another bad sign. Where's my oil? Oil moving lower. It's got plenty of room to move down. Good for inflation, other negativity related to this, and the transports moving down and interest rates and so on. Point to a belief of a global recession when you look around. And I mentioned this yesterday, looking around at the global ETFs, different countries, they all got smashed on Friday. So, yesterday was, could it possibly be over? And as we see, it's not. All right. All right. Like silver taking a little breather, but clearly in a bullish trend. It's not even extended from the 20. Yes, extended from the 50. Of course, there's going to be resting along the ways, but super bullish. Gold backing off a little bit, coming down to major support. A lot of speculation. Of course, it's going to 5,000, 6,000. With the uncertainty with China, who the hell knows what's going on with Russia and the Ukraine? It's kind of too quiet about what's going on there or not. Uh, but a lot of uncertainties plus the debt, as you all know. S&Ps, it's inside the bar. So far noise. So far, right? So far noise. Consolidating after the down move on Friday, and we'll just see which way things go there. Okay. Um, Consolidating inside the gain. Same story, some stabilization here. I wouldn't, unless well, we'll see if it starts to percolate to the upside. But down below here, I think the biggest opportunity would be to come down into this area today, looking for a bounce. Same, Dow there, futures trading inside the range. Bitcoin, I guess just raising cash, but coming down to major support. So we'll see if that holds. Set an alert down there. It was trying to bottom yesterday. Well, it was not trying, but there was this stabilization on GBTC, and Bitcoin was, and now it's not. More of the same. It's just the same everywhere. These metal stocks are ripping higher again. China news coming out, no industrial metals for you, Mr. Trump. Uh, Interest rates moving down, and bonds 1, 2, 3, coming off of a double bottom there. And so bonds going up, interest rates going down, transports going down, oil going down, all bad signs that imply a strong belief of a recession. So we'll have to see how it all unfolds. It's going to be a wait and see today. Uh, in the At the opening there, I think taking it easy. A little wait to see what unfolds. I didn't hear the news as far as earnings reports. I suppose J.P. Morgan is out by now. Citibank was positive news, but it wasn't moving. You see financials are gapping down a bit, but just more of the same. Um, and so gapping down, just a lot of noise. Um, Yesterday was more or less a commission generator. When you see this kind of whipping back and forth, and uh, it could be the same today. So as always, we pick our spots and put our stops in. And Alex is saying Ether is down 8%. Um, you know, Things were looking, decently yesterday, and now, it's just gapping down there. So ugliness. We'll see how it unfolds. Is Powell talking today? I didn't even check the economic reports because the government is closed, as you know. But I'll take a look for you to see if it's in there. Yes, Robert is telling me Powell is speaking at 12:20. So get your lunch and turn on the TV, see what he says, and we'll see if the markets jiggle around. To you, Dan.
Oh, no, I didn't hear you turn it over. All right, good morning. I don't know if I'm gonna have all my proper alarms. I had to uninstall and reinstall TradeStation on the big computer. I mean, what a nightmare for them. They said every single client has to do that because they sent a bad update. Wonderful. All right, so I just sent on Telegram. I think spiders are a condor day. We always use the intraday time frame to leg into them. But 30-minute high, I would do a put spread, and if there's enough juice and some type of stalled rally and turn at 10 a.m., then or whenever, do a call spread over yesterday's high, 0 to 2. So we'll just wait for the setups. Yeah, so my alarms here are out of whack. But yeah, this is old TKO, GoDaddy. Yeah, my alarms are messed up. Let me just go through opens because we don't have many at all, which is good. And the weekly options trader, Airbnb, we got a call spread. we were short stock and we took our money yesterday, but with the gap down here, I tightened the stop. Let me give it to you all. If you don't have Telegram, let's assume the risk. But I try my best to update you. So that one's doing fine. BCE, we're long stock and put spread. Whipping around. We sold some in the strength yesterday on the long side. Fermi did a put spread, recent IPO, gapping down here with the market, but we have the 25s. So look at that. We still have over $4 of comfort or cushion, I call it. Oracle, we did a put spread. Gapping down with the market, nothing to do. We have the 285s. So we have $17 of cushion on that one. Advisory here. Yeah, we're pretty light. I mentioned the BCE already. EVLV. We bought that yesterday, half lot. GTX was shorted. Beautiful close, days low. That looks great. LNTH. Bottoming pattern breakout. Look at it. Look at the close. Beautiful. Closing up the high. I can't tell where it's trading right now. Let me put it here. But that looks great. It shows it up 11 cents. So that's great. Relative strength. Well, that looks like an ad. Neo, we bought half a lot, whipping around, bullish daily, weekly, and then Sezzle short. So those are all our opens in the 2 letters, and that one's gapping down. So I have tightened the stop on that also. Let me give you that one. All right, so I'll go through an update in the green room, all alerts again. But let's look at let's go to earnings here. JP Morgan. So Alex and I sold some naked puts on this. I did the which ones did I do? I did the 285s, I think for 81 cents. And I think Alex did the 290s for $1. So it's gapping down, $1, 2, 3, whatever. Doesn't matter. It could gap down $10. And we're gonna have an open profit. Why? Because that's the game on selling options in the earnings. We want the volatility crush gain to be bigger than any directional move against you. So I'll be looking to cover that after 5 minutes. J and J, yeah, relatively flat. It's bullish, but I'm in no hurry to buy swing longs right here. And we did an excellent job staying out of trouble yesterday. Wells Fargo 82. That's a bullish shock. So that's a put spread watch. If there's any juice, yesterday's low. That looks great. Goldman, they said they blew out numbers. So why does a stock gap down when they blow out numbers? It's a rhetorical question, but it's so simple. It's because whatever the results were less than what the street expected. So whether they blow them out or not is irrelevant to me. It's the reaction to the earnings, which is what's important to us. But all that said, we're pattern traders, and I don't Gap on 7. I don't know what to do with it, so I do nothing. Greg, that should be one of your capitalisms, actually. I don't know what to do with that, so I do nothing. You like that? I don't know what to do with it. So do nothing. I like them. BlackRock down a little bit. Fine. The heck am I going to do with that pattern? Well, correct, David. Correct. It's well, correct. Its guidance is more important the majority of the time, but it's also, yeah, expectations. What do we got here on City Core opening flat? Again, I got nothing. Eric, that's a big old gap, but too big. Pizza Hut, gap, a little gap in a downtrend. I was tempted to sell the 360s. I did not though. Just because of this. Look, this is pseudo climb on major support. So 360 was $40 lower. But we'll do it. ACI 18 bullish gap, but too big. FBK up. I really can't tell where it's opening. I'll come back to you. Let's go to this interest list. There's so many bubbles, climbos around. Gold, silver, precious metals, energy stocks. So look, man, look, critical metals. All right, I said yesterday, these things might be getting close to a top. And I said yesterday, if these things gap up big, they are gap and crap candidates. So this thing closing at 23. Now you're gapping up $7. Gap and crap candidate for a day, at least a day trade short. And for me, a call spread for Friday. So that, Don, put that on the list. That looks great. UAMI, I exactly said this into the close yesterday. I hope this thing gaps up to $20. And that's exactly what it's doing. So that doesn't mean short of it. It means we now monitor for sort of intraday reversal. We talked about that one. What's doing? These were on Sam's list, Charlie Bravo and WWD. Those are two good buy setups. I got alarms. Let's see what they do. On Reddit, I posted this as a call spread under the lows. Let me give it to you. Under 198. Alarm set. NVA, another one of these gap and crappers. Look at that, closed at 34. Now, look at that. You went to $75 pre-market. I would love to talk to the man or woman who bought that at $75 pre-market. A wreck. So this one's bullish, but this one is not a good gap and crap because it was a range expansion closing breakout from consolidation. So that one's actually a buy on a pullback. Avgo had a beautiful cap and close yesterday. Gap down here with the market. I'm gonna set an alarm at 355 for a put spread. Three. Tree. I guess read in the journal of the CEO died on an ATV accident. So, I feel bad for him, but I just pulled up the chart and like, that's a buy setup daily, weekly. So I got an alarm at 56. Man, this guy screwed up my alarms on my big computer. They're all set to up alarm 100, down alarm $1. Wonderful. Technology. There's another Climo. This one's not gapping up though, but just watching it. That's the one. Look, what is going on with green wave technology? Look at that, it's doubling. Look at that, 100% gap. So I mentioned silver. Look, that's a Bear Island reversal now. Look, pre-market, my up alarm went off. 48.50. Now it's a Bear Island reversal. What's today? Tuesday. Our stop is Friday's low, so I'm just going to leave it. $15. This guy did to my alarms. All right, this looks great for a day trade and swing trade. Uh, the market's not on our side, but when I say let's watch the market stabilize, and then you have some longs in your back pockets. This is one in your back pockets. LNTH. CCL, yeah, I know Alex is on that. Yeah, 30-minute low. Weekly as a boy, it's fine. Reddit alarm. All right, Reddit, I like 5-minute low for a day trade short, and the call spread is fine. What did I say? 135, 140. Looks like I forgot to put a hyphen in there, but if you can't figure that out, then you shouldn't be trading credit spreads. Wait, that is wrong. Yeah. Why didn't you correct me earlier, man? That's your job. Yeah, yeah, two. No, it's 215, 220 ring, and you messed it up too. So look, 215, 215, 220. That's 55. All right, so it's still good to go at 70. All right, I'll put an order out. Tell you if I get boom. But it's definitely not filled yet. All right, look at these Climos. Look at UAMY, bottom right. Look at that. See, this is textbook gap and crap. So the question, Greg, since we've been burned on some of these, is when do you enter? Do you wait for the bar to close and then you could miss it? Is that a
Depends on what you want to do.
$20 call spread?
Well, nobody knows, Dan. You want to, you just do it, I suppose.
Well, that's what I'm asking. You know, it all boils down to, are we comfortable with the turn right now after 4 minutes of price action?
I don't think anybody could ever be comfortable with a credit spread. I know what you're saying, but it seems far enough away, but nobody knows. If you think, what you can do is think, is it far enough away based on the chart?
Right, but do you remember that one we got burned on, that it looked like this and then it closed with a big old bottoming tail?
That don't mean this one will do it. I mean,
Maybe.
I don't know what they do. I mean, is it a metal stock? Is it,
Yes, all these gap. Yes, it is.
so I mean, it's extended. It could become more extended. You either do the trade or don't. It looks, it's a gap and crap. You said what it is. So that's a setup. You're gonna hold it until Friday. That's an unknown. There's news around this whole industry with China. So they're extended. You got news. It could get worse.
Well, that's
You,
what.
these unknowns, you either stay away or you take the risk.
Okay. All right, there's a couple of them here. Look at Kermel, do the 30s. Well, that one pre-market went to 34. So see, I use my pre-market on these. This one is so extended, there's no 35s, but the 30s are massive at $2 for being $5 away. But no, I'd like to go further out of the money on that one. All right, so Reddit, I'm not filled. Look at NBA, another one. But that one's up. That one I'm not comfortable with yet, actually. Because this is a igniting gap. Even though it's massive, this stupid thing might be a continuation gap because it's only up 3 bars, whereas these other ones have been showing you up or up multiple. All right, Amco, nothing. Tree, nothing. I got an alarm. I'm at C there. Now this one I'd like for it to close this way, but let me just look at the premium anyway. We do the 55s. And it's massive. But the 60s are spready, so that's the problem. So we'll just wait on that one. G-Wave. That's an wowzer. Look at the volume. Do you see how we use volumes, just spikes? Look at that volume. In 7 minutes, it's dwarfing all of this. What is going on with this company? Yeah. Lift short. I don't know. It's down a lot on support and showing relative strength here. Not crazy about it, Thomas. Market continues ugly sell-off. I am
540 so far, high volume strike on SPX.
Yeah, but the way with this velocity is going down, I'm no long term me right now. Sezzle, low alarm. Thomas, remember we were talking about quality new shorts yesterday? All right, so this I gave 70. Ooh, it hit my first target by this to the penny. To the penny. Says it looks fantastic. Oh, damn.
Alex, which gap fill on the Russell? I suppose lower, but
I forgot about my JP Morgan now. It's oh shoot. I'm watching them. I'm actually break even. I'm break even now. I thought, well, because I delayed getting out. Watch. Go through earnings. I mean, opens here. I got to reset all these alarms. All right, our GTX short. Let's move stop. 1273. We only have 6 open trades in the advisory. That's pretty light. And 2 shorts. So